Title: TIFU, by asking my 100% deaf-born girlfriend of 2 years if she'd ever played BopIT. Honestly, the story behind this isn't too exciting, but the accidental punchline had everybody, including my deaf girlfriend, laughing pretty damn hard. Edit: title typo. It's BopIT. 2 words. One thing I love to do after a long day of work is sitting my butt down in front of my monitor, ripping a joint, and playing Xbox with some friends. Long story short, that's exactly what I did. I got super high, was playing games with my friends when BopIT got brought up in conversation. So, my high ass turns to my girlfriend on the couch next to me and signed, without speaking, "Did you ever play BopIT growing up?" My girlfriend so innocently just signs back, "WTF is that, guys?" It took me a good 20 to 30 seconds before I realized what I just asked my 100% deaf girlfriend of 2 years. The shame I felt. Anyway, I told the boys online. Everyone had a solid laugh, including my hellova good sport girlfriend. Title: TIFU, by having the world's strongest coffee. Warning: there is potty talk. Last November, I got my stomach partially removed 80%, and I have some dietary restrictions now, including no lil caffeine. I mean, I used to see that stuff as suggestions, but now I might take it more seriously. I saw Death Wish coffee on sale at Meijer's yesterday and have wanted to try it since it came out originally, but didn't want to have to order online, so I picked it up. I was so excited and told myself I would drink it when I need it, and waking up for Prime Day deals meant I needed it today. Oops. About 5 minutes after drinking it, I started to feel jittery and bouncy, so I knew I may have fucked up, but thought I would just get extra hyper because of caffeine basically being absorbed a billion times faster than other people's bodies would. I decided to take a shower after I got too jumpy to see if maybe it would calm me down a bit. Instead, I learned what dumping syndrome is. Dumping syndrome can cause rapid heartbeat, feeling of fullness, lightheadedness, cramping, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Basically, long story short, I was jumping around, singing my heart out and dancing in the shower when my stomach started hurting really bad. I bent over a little, as one does when they are cramping, and instead shit all over the side of my shower. Explosive ass diarrhea. It was horrible, and it didn't even make my stomach feel better, so with my stomach still hurting, I had to clean up the shower and myself. I want to die both of embarrassment and pain. Title: TIFU, by not checking my wash rag before showering. TIFUSNAFU if you will. When I shower, I have a routine, and my routine has always been to scrub with a wash rag instead of a loofah, because germs, I guess. I keep my wash rags underneath my bathroom sink in a basket, and they're all folded nicely into fourths sometimes. Other times they're just chucked in there all willy-nilly. This morning, I grab a nicely folded rag, put it on the shower ledge, and step inside. I do my routine: shampoo, conditioner, then shave, and then the scrubby. Everything goes normally until the scrubby part. I dump my Dollar General soap onto my wash rag and then lather up, starting at my arms and then up to my neck. It was then it hit me. Instead of my nice smelly scrubby, I get hit with it. The stench. The awful stench that it stink bugs. I open my rag to find 3 of those crunchy little fuckers, all squished and nasty. I screamed so loud my husband, our 3 dogs, and cat all came to investigate. I was gagging, crying, and cursing, all while trying to waffle stomp these smelly fucks down the drain. My husband immediately breaks down laughing and takes the basket of rags outside to shake them all out. Dogs sneak a drink from the shower, and the cat is judging. As cats are wont to do. No matter how hard I scrubbed, the stench wouldn't come off. I tried Dove soap, Motel soap, Axe soap, and finally covered it up with my husband's scent killer hunting soap and Defense soap with tea tree oil. I can still smell them. Title: TIFU, by thinking it was cool to walk around in a public swimming pool with a boner. This happened a long time ago when I was barely a teenager. I was at a big public swimming pool place. There were 4 large swimming pools, and the people there were mostly moms with their children, like me. I was there with my big brother and my mom. I like to play with my penis underwater. This was before I had masturbated, so I wasn't jerking off there. I got a boner quite easily, and every time I went to the bathroom I had a boner. It's very easy to tell when just wearing swimming trunks. I didn't think too much about it, I just thought it showed other people I had a big cock. When I went the first time I noticed my brother and mother staring at me, my brother giggling quietly. I started to think about it, and then I noticed all the other people in the pool staring. I didn't know why they were staring. When I got back from the bathroom, some people were still staring and I still had my boner. When I got back to the pool, my brother or mother didn't say anything. Only a few weeks later I realized why people were staring at me. Title: TIFU by not killing a tiny spider in my office. I did not realize this was a mistake at the time. I am a 25F, and I work at a bank. I have a small office tucked away in the back of the bank building, and I spend 8 hours a day alone in my own space answering the phone and helping customers with their problems over the phone. Well, I was working one day and I looked to the side of my computer monitor to see a tiny white spider the size of a dot from a pen making a web on my desk. I looked at the spider and thought, I always kill bugs, but this tiny thing can't hurt me. It will probably die in about a week. What gives me the right to kill this other being just because I see it existing and minding its own business? So, feeling like a truly kind-hearted and benevolent soul that has transcended the blind hatred of bugs I once had in my misguided youth, I scooped the tiny innocent spider onto a sheet of paper and moved it to a potted succulent I have in the corner of my little office. I figured that the tiny spider would have plenty of space to make its tiny web and catch whatever bugs likely lived in the plant. Maybe I would even give it an affectionate name like Larry and chat with him as I go about my day alone in my office. How foolish I was. It was a gradual process. I would come in one day and see a single strand of spider web spun leading from the potted plant to the nearby window. Ah, Larry is just spreading out a bit. No worries, the next day the blinds of my window are covered with tiny webs. They spread diagonally from corner to corner, almost invisible except for when the sunlight hits them. This makes me a little uncomfortable. I think about clearing the webs away, but my phone rings and work demands my attention. So I decide to let Larry have the window for the time being. He will likely die in a week or so, right? How much web can one tiny body produce? I realized the consequences of my mistake around Wednesday of last week. I came into my office to discover my computer monitor framed in thin spider webs. With intense anxiety I cleared them away and started my workday. But I couldn't help glancing at my potted succulent and my web-covered window. A foreboding sense of dread was setting in. Later that day I turned on my air conditioner and discovered more webs all throughout my tiny office. I got a dusting stick and waved it wildly around my office, trying to remove as many webs as I could see. My manager watched in confusion from across the hall. Spider webs covered my office door, the corners of the room, even my telephone. Could one tiny spider really make this much web? Larry was the only spider I had seen. Can spiders reproduce asexually? I haven't seen a single spider since placing Larry on the succulent. Surely if he had given birth to spider babies I would see at least one spider throughout my work day. But Larry was so small. Would baby Larrys be small enough to go unnoticed? Is my office infested by tiny spiders? I'm still not sure. I came in today after the weekend to see more webs coating my desk. With an anxious glance at Larry's succulent I cleared them away and started my day. Is this my new normal? As I was writing this I saw a tiny white spider crawling across my desk. Was this Larry? I froze for one moment, then grabbed a tissue and killed the tiny thing. Only time will tell if my office is infested with them or not now. Title: TIFU by outing myself as an aspiring sex offender. Today I had a phone interview about a job I've recently applied for. It wasn't so much an interview as much as it was just a quick talk about my experience and some admin. So I'm blasting through these questions and he asks me about customer service experience, and I admit that I haven't got too much, but I used to work in a cafe and explained a bit about that. He said, "Have you ever dealt with customers over the phone or haven't you had to do that yet?" I replied something like, "Oh no, I've never had to do that, but it shouldn't be an issue for me." In my head I was just thinking to myself, the words "not yet" would have probably done the job there. Meanwhile he's already asking the next question, "Are you a registered sex offender?" My thoughts about my last answer must have stuck in my head 'cause I said, "No, not yet."